Listen. Do you hear it? It may sound like an ordinary insect, but it's far beyond anything your mind could ever conceive. Watch out when the fly comes your way. Be afraid. Be very afraid. In the 1950s, we got a lot of cool sci-fi horror films that had to do with nuclear weapons, the atom age bomb, science gone amok, and putting people into fear and panic of that time. You got classics like The Day the Earth Stood Still, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, Them, Godzilla, War of the Worlds, and so much more. Then there was a movie in 1958 that had a really interesting concept. Teleportation. What would happen if you could take something and teleport from one spot to another, and even try putting a human in this machine? But you know, it's not without its consequences. Something could go wrong. Because this movie became a box office hit, a beloved classic, it would spawn over 2 sequels, 1 remake, and the sequel to the remake, and would be inspiration for all kinds of movies, TV shows, filmmakers, and much more. The movie I am of course talking about is The Fly. Before getting to the review, I just want to add that just like in my RoboCop series review video, I try to keep things short and simple as I possibly could without over-talking, but it felt like I did over-talk in that one. Anyway, while giving my thoughts, I'm going to give some trivia, background into the movie, and simple and short as I can. Yes. Gonna show you this real quick. The Fly 1986 on my t-shirt. I don't have anything on the original, sadly, but this will do. Ain't that something? Also, I'm going to show you the Fly DVD collection box set. Watch out, it's coming for you! Woo! No, I'm just kidding. This contains the first original 3 films. Backside right there. Yeah. I've had this box set since the early 2010s, if I remember. So cool. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you this Blu-ray collection box set from Scream Factory / Shout Factory. How awesome does that artwork look? My gosh. All the movies there. It's just so freaking cool. Oh, the backside doesn't come off. But it's got all the special features there, of course. Previous ones from the other releases and new ones too. So yeah. And I recommend this box set. You can find it on Amazon or the Shout Factory, Scream Factory site. I love saying Scream Factory, Shout Factory because they're both the same. Yeah, this would be great for your collection. On to the review from 1958. The Fly. Such a classic. And it's underrated too. It's sad that this movie tends to be dismissed by so many. Luckily, there are still people out there that'll watch this movie still. There's a fan base, a horror community too. And the movie is being talked about still, so this movie is still living on. At a very young age, this was one of the first horror films I was ever introduced to. Being the mid-90s to late 90s, somewhere around that time. And this movie gave me nightmares. Oh my goodness, I could remember waking up in the middle of the nights, just going, running out of my room, and just going, ah! No, I can't remember if I screamed like that, but anyway. I can remember AMC airing this movie at the time when they used to be an uncut premium channel before going the basic cable route in 2002. The movie is based upon the short story of the same name that first appeared in Playboy magazine in 1957. Yes, Playboy. Look it up, it's for real. The short story was written by George Langeland, if we're pronouncing his last name right, and his story is pretty interesting for part of the inspiration for the short story of The Fly. From his time in the World War II as an agent and spy to getting plastic surgery to alter his face, it's pretty interesting stuff if you want to read the whole story. So 20th Century Fox gained interest in the short story and decided they wanted to adopt it into a movie, which would come out a year later. I've read the short story before, and it's fun to see, you know, how the movie version and the short story are different from each other. Though, of course, the movie takes a lot from the short story, but they altered things because you can't do everything from the short story, obviously. But, oh my goodness, the short story is more chilling. And just thinking about it again just sends chills down my spine. I recommend reading the short story if you can track it down. You can find it, I think, on YouTube in an audiobook version, if it's easy that way. One little chilling detail I'll say is in the movie version, of course, it's a fly head on Andre, but in the short story, it's not just a fly head. There's some other little details a part of the face. I better not say it, but I don't want to ruin it. Check it out for yourself if you can track down the short story. The cast for this movie is awesome. I love this cast. Some of these names you won't be familiar with, like Patricia Owens, Herbert Marshall, David Hedison, who went by Al Hedison at that time, and he plays Andre / The Fly in the movie. And also, you'll know this name though, the legendary Vincent Price. Yes. People at that time thought Vincent Price was going to be the main star of the movie, but it turns out he wasn't, though he had an important supporting role in the film. And of course, before that, Vincent Price was in movies like House of Wax, The Invisible Man Returns, and amongst many others. This movie did set Vincent Price as the horror star that we all know and love. Want to point out the film's director, Kurt Newman, who sadly, he passed away weeks after the film's release. Many have speculated of him dying of suicide, natural causes, and that he didn't take the film seriously after it was completed and thought it would be a bomb. Regardless of the speculations, he did an awesome job as the director. Then we have the makeup artist Ben Nye, who did excellent work on the fly creature head and the fly claw hand. That fly head is still one of the creepiest things in movie history, even though people will take it as cheesy these days, but still creeps me out from time to time. And can you just imagine the audience in 1958 just seeing that on the big screen for the first time? Oh, I heard it scared a lot of them. The music in this movie, amazing score. From the opening titles, to the little chilling moments, to the big reveal, and then the horrific spider scene at the end. Oh, it's amazing. Then going back to the cast for a bit, David Hedison, who went by Al Hedison, of course, acting with that cloth over his head, man, that was not easy. But as much of a challenge as it was for him, he enjoyed doing that. And it's also stated that he said that the script, once he read it, he thought it was fun, and he believed in this movie and think it would be a big hit. And of course, with a movie, when you're making something, you don't know if it's going to be a big hit. And of course, turns out it was true. It became a big hit. He's just amazing in this as Andre and as the fly creature. I want to point out real quick that David Hedison passed away in July of 2019 from what I found out recently. And he was the only remaining surviving actor alive from The Fly, because all the other actors passed away in other years. So it's amazing that he lived up all this time, up to age 92. Wow, that is something. And I feel that he doesn't get enough attention. So I want to say he will be greatly missed. His legacy will live on. And some other movies that he's done aside from The Fly, he's been in a movie called The Enemy Below. I have not seen that one, but I've heard some good things about it. Let's see, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, if I'm remembering. And he played in some of the Bond films. I'm blanking on other names, but man, he's a talented actor. So yes, he will be greatly missed. Patricia Owens, Herbert Marshall, Kathleen Freeman, I feel as though those names don't get enough attention. All of them, they did amazing in this movie. Let's see, Patricia as Andre's wife, Helene. Herbert as the Inspector Shadaz, if I say that name right. And Kathleen Freeman as the maid, Emma. Yes, their commitments to their roles, excellent. And of course, the little boy, Philippe in the movie, I forgot the actor's name. I think Charles Herbert? If someone knows, please tell me in the comments. Vincent Price, fun to watch in this movie, of course, as Francois. His scenes with the actors, amazing. Oh, especially the famous horrific spider web scene at the end. Did you know that him and Herbert Marshall, I had to keep doing take after take because they kept cracking up laughing. But still, that scene is still freaky in film history. I could go on and on about this movie still, but then it would be a longer video. Not sure how long this is going to turn out. Long enough. If I had to rate it, I would say 2 thumbs up, just like in my RoboCop video. Absolute classic. Love this movie. One of my favorites, if I haven't mentioned that yet. Hopefully I can get to the other Fly movies sometime for reviews. We shall see what happens. Originally was planned to do all the Fly movies in one video, but then plans changed there. Yeah. So just decided to just stick with the first one for now. So, all that's left to say is, take care. Hope you like the video. And watch out for those flies.